today's video is going to be me painting another Among Us character with the Marvy Uchida brush pens. So earlier today I made a review on these brush pens, pretty much saying how these work for calligraphy and for art. So if you do either one of those, you'll definitely like the review. So you should definitely check that out after watching this video. A link will be in the cards and the description box below. And also, if you are interested in another drawing of me making another Among Us character, I did do that last week with the Ohuhu natural Aqua brush markers. I made a review on that last week, which will be linked in the cards and description box below if you're interested. But I also made another Among Us character drawing with those markers because I was like, oh, maybe I'll try it out, and I really liked it, so I decided to draw another one with the Marvy Uchida. And also, I really didn't like how that painting turned out. It kind of went wrong, so I kind of go over how to go over your mistakes and make your painting still look good afterwards. So if you're interested in that kind of video, then definitely check that out. It'll be linked in the cards and in the description box below. So those are some videos that you can watch after watching this one. But first, let's get into this video. So this video is me pretty much making a picture of an Among Us character. So I did use washi tape, even though last time I used washi tape, it did not end well. Because this time I used a different paper, and I checked to see that that paper would work with the washi tape so that it wouldn't rip or anything. So that is just something that you should do if you're going to use washi tape. Just make sure that it's good for your paper. But other than that, I'm painting the background right now, and I put different splotches of red and pink, and I also have blues and turquoises and purples and all that stuff that are kind of like nebulas in the background, so that it kind of looks more spacey rather than just one solid color. And then I also use the packets as a blending palette, so I put a bunch of black and a bunch of purple, mixed them together to kind of get that nice background blue. And I used a water brush, and I also just used the blue itself to kind of get that color out. And it looked really dark at the end. It looks a lot lighter right now, but in the end it looked really dark, and it ended up blending over all the pinks and blues, so it looked really dark and purpley, and this looked so much better blended than the last space one. So what I did is, see here, you can see me mixing blue, purple, and black, and I'm using the water brush pen to kind of get that really dark color this time. So once I started using the black, it really started going really dark, and as you can see, the color is going to be super dark at the end, and it's going to look really like space. So if you like, drawing space or whatever, this is a really good technique. And I also used the wet and wet technique. So what you do is you kind of use you wet your paper first, and then you kind of color over it. That's what really helps you get good blends when you're making things like space or a sunset gradient or anything like that. And as you can see, I'm just kind of filling in all the spaces, and I'm not really blending anything yet. I do blend things together at the end, but I just want to get the different blotches of colors, because there's lots of colors going on in lots of different spaces. There'll be pink in one area, there'll be a bluish in one area, just kind of getting all the different colors of space. And they're random areas. I really wanted it to be random as well. So as you can see, I also have to make a lot of this color, because it's pretty much most of the background is just the back of space. It's space, and space is mostly this really dark bluish purple, really dark purplish blue. Actually, it's more blue than purple. It's really dark. It's not black though, so don't use black. Use black to kind of make your colors darker, but don't use just black itself, because it's going to kind of ruin the look. And that's, of course, you kind of want it to look like a void. Depending on the aesthetic that you're going for, maybe you can use black as space. But for this painting, I didn't use it as space because I kind of wanted it to look like, space, real actual space, and not this Among Us character is all alone in solitude with just the stars. And I was really happy with how this space painting turned out. And I use pretty much, these pens are really good because you can also, as you can see, I also use, you can see maybe using the purple right now, and I'm kind of getting color from the mixing palette on the purple brush pen rather than a water brush pen, and coloring with that too. And it's not, because this purple is a relatively light purple, but when I use the mixing palette, the purple becomes really dark and it starts to fade out. So you can also get a much darker color that way, and that's also one of the reasons why the space background is super duper dark. So that's another thing that you can do, and I definitely really think that was a lot of fun. These, honestly, water painting in itself is a lot of fun, and these markers are not watercolor markers in any way. I think these are markers that you're supposed to kind of color on your stamps. I don't own any stamps, so I didn't test that, but I think you're supposed to color these on your stamps, but you're also supposed to use them for coloring, but these are really, really good for a lot of reasons. And I'm here using them as watercolor. They work really well with a body brush or just by themselves, as you can see. So honestly, like, I'm just so happy with how these blended all together. So I'm not blending them right now, as you can see, so it looks really blotchy, but trust me, it's going to look so good. You know, if you're following along with me, then you can definitely see that there's lots of different spots that you could kind of just color in, and it's a lot of fun. And honestly, this one didn't end up going so bad. Like, the colors are really, really pretty. Like, definitely, I loved mixing the colors on, like, the packet itself. And, like, okay, so the water brush picks up a lot of color. Like, it gets stained it doesn't get stained really easily. This water brush pen is actually from the Ohuhu water brush pen kit. So if you want this water brush pen itself, then you'll have to get the entire kit. Because I don't actually own one, I just had this one that came with the kit. But anyway, it kicks up a lot of colors, so you're going to want like a tissue paper or a napkin handy with you, so that, like, you know, when you're picking up the color, you can kind of clean it up. So when you're making the blends, because I had to clean it up because, as you can see, now I'm starting to kind of blend just the edges of the colors together, and I didn't want, you know, it to become too purple. In the end, it ended up looking purple, and I think that honestly looked a lot better than having like these really, really bright colors, especially because, like, they weren't large enough for me to really get those darker colors. So I decided to kind of keep them more purple at the end. But as you can see right now, I'm just kind of also blending in like the red, like, because I put like red and like a pink together, and I'm trying to blend all of that like together as well, so that it's like not different from like the red and the pink, because like those are really similar, so I want those to be blended together as well. And then I'm also kind of just softening the edges, just kind of blending everything together, and you know, everything's kind of coming together now in the background. So if you like, you know, it looked really, really happy, and I was really happy with how it looked. And as you can see, the colors, I did end up kind of blending over them, so most of them ended up becoming really, really, really dark. Well, not really dark, but like they kind of turning more purplish than like that bright pink that you saw earlier. But there are still some areas that I didn't blend over, so it still had some of that bright pink element to it. Same with like the blue. So now this is my favorite part of this painting. One of my favorite parts was honestly just kind of taking off that washi tape and just seeing that like white underneath it, seeing that it actually worked. Because I was kind of scared that it wouldn't work, because I only tested to see if that it wouldn't work. I didn't test to see if it would, like, the color would seep through or anything. And the color didn't seep through, but it did rip a little bit. So that was kind of depressing, but it didn't rip too much. Like, the paper was still easy to use, relatively the same to use. This paper, I think, is 160 GSM, so it's not too thin and it's not too thick either. So it did buckle a little bit, but not too much. This is mixed media paper as well, and it's relatively smooth. I mean, it's not like really smooth, but it's not like really textured either. It's just like normal paper, just like thick. That's how I would describe this paper. Okay, so now I'm going to be making the eyes, is it? What is that part? I honestly don't know if it's the eye or if it's like something else. You know, like, is it their eye, or is it like a goggle? What is it? Let me know in the comments below, because I honestly don't know. But I only have one gray, so what I did is I pretty much used the palette, watered down the color a ton, and drew over it. And then I used a less watered down color, and I just kind of drew the shadow and just blended that shadow in, and it looked really nice. So I used the same color, but one was more diluted, and the second time it was less diluted, so one was darker and one was lighter. And for the second blend, I just kind of took all the markers out of the packet just so I can like blend easier, and I decided to make the pink Among Us character with the sprout on the top. I don't know, last time when I made my painting, I used pink, cayenne, or cyan. I really don't know. Are you supposed to say cayenne or cyan? Let me know in the comments below, because I'm filming this video like right after filming the last one. So I did ask this one last week, so maybe I'll learn from it last week. But you know, I film these videos like back to back sometimes, so that's what I'm doing this week. And I made cyan, green, and pink, and this time I'm only making pink. And I wanted the pink to be like not as like that same color. Like, I feel like the pink is lighter in the game. I'm not entirely sure, but like that's what I've seen online. So I just used my water brush to pick up color from the side, and I also thought this would be a good way to really get familiar with how these pens work when kind of just coloring with putting the paint on the palette and just, you know, kind of picking it up with the water brush. And I did the sprout just because I really liked how the sprout looked, and it was like kind of like my favorite hat out of the three that I picked. And it looks really cute. Like, don't you think that like the little sprout just makes these like crewmates look really cute? Like, I can't imagine an imposter having a sprout on their head. Like, that's just so cute. Like, if you're the imposter, why make yourself look cute? You know, actually that's a good way to avoid suspicion, but I don't know. I mean, all I know is that imposters like are not good, and you don't want to get attacked by an imposter, otherwise have fun. But I mean, if you are an imposter, maybe try using like the sprout hat, and maybe you'll look too cute to actually be an imposter, and you will be the imposter. You know, be a dubious little person and, you know, be the imposter. But anyway, that's what I decided to use, and I honestly thought that it was like, it's so cute. But anyway, the pink honestly looked really pretty. I really liked this shade of pink that ended up coming out of the watercolor, like using the paint with the watercolor. It looked so pretty. It's like this like nice kind of like reddish pink. Like, it's slightly red, but it's mostly pink, and it just, I think I did blend colors too. You can do that, and it like works really nicely. And honestly, guys, this is so pretty. This color, I don't know, I like this color for like the Among Us characters. It's a really pretty color. It was either going to be this or blue, but I feel like blue would just like not stand out as much. I feel like this pink kind of does go with the background a little bit, because there's like those pink spots, so just tie the piece together a little bit, but it's still different enough where it stands out and like kind of like pops, which is what I wanted. I feel like blue would have also worked, but I feel like then this picture would have just been too blue. But now it's like not like in a green or like any of the other, and like I wanted to be a light color, so I think the only other light colors are orange, yellow, and green, and none of those show up in this picture, so I feel like those would have just been pretty random. Honestly, looking back, I think yellow might have looked a bit cute, but I'm really happy with how this painting turned out just in general. And now you can see I'm just like kind of like trying to make the color look a bit more even, because I don't like, it's kind of uneven right now, so I'm just trying to make, you know, the color look more even with just everything. And now I have to obviously, you know, shade the pen. So that's what I'm not shading, hold on. Sorry. I'm actually, you know, making the sprout, the cute part, the little green. And I didn't know if you can like change the colors of your hats, but honestly, I feel like, cause like I feel like light green would have been cuter, but I didn't know how like true to Among Us that was. So I didn't want to not do that and like have something that like kind of looked like it wasn't from the game. So I stuck with the dark green, and honestly, it doesn't look so bad. I mean, like, it looks good, but I feel like a light green would look better. But I didn't want to be inaccurate. So let me know in the comments below if they have like light green hats, like the light green sprouts. Can you like change the color of that, or does it have to be dark green? But anyway, now I'm mixing this like darker pink with like a lighter pink to make this like really pretty shadow color. And I didn't like how it looked, so I also you can also take things off if you like quickly kind of like use a napkin and like tap on it and you don't like how it looks, and you tap on it, then it looks kind of better. Like, it doesn't look like, it doesn't completely get rid of the color, but you can like make it color lighter, you can make it less, you know, bright, less opaque, you can make it more translucent, so it does kind of go away, not entirely. But I did make this like darker version of that pink, and I think that this was a really good shadow color for this pink. It looked really similar to the one on the game. I think the one on the game is more like grayish. Like, I feel like the shadows look like they added black to the shadows, right? Whereas I'm just adding a darker pink because I wanted to look more like natural and not so video game-ish, because that's just kind of how this painting is coming out anyway. Because it is watercolor, it's not like I'm using, I mean, like, you could make it look like that, but I feel like the nature of watercolor is to have like more natural kind of paintings, which is not what I'm necessarily good at. But I'm honestly really happy with how this turned out. Like I said, like, it's so I made the transitions really smooth later on, but like you can see that like the color is like actually like, I like how this looks better than in the game, because the game I think they just add like black and it looks like really like murky, and I don't like those colors. I like this brighter color. They look so much nicer, don't you think? Don't you? Let me know in the comments below if you like how the Among Us characters looks and how you would improve the crewmates colors. Wait, they're called crewmates, right? So how would you improve their color kind of scheme? How would you kind of just you know, make these colors look better? How would you make Among Us characters look if you were the one designing the game? Let me know in the comments below, because I feel like that'd be kind of fun to talk about. But I like how this character looks. I do like the harsh line from the shadow to the actual body though. Like, I didn't replicate that here because, like I said, it's kind of just like the nature of this painting and watercolors itself. And this also looks really nice for a painting. But for the video game itself, I feel like that kind of adds to like the vibe of like Among Us. Among Us kind of has like a kind of like fun, just kind of like vibe where you just kind of like play like, and it's like have fun. It's like the vibe is just have fun. You know what I mean? But yeah, the last thing I did to kind of like put this piece all together was I used a whiteout pen to kind of outline the entire painting, which I think really kind of made this piece all the better. Like, it was looking good, but this really tied everything together. I also used this whiteout pen to kind of add stars. I don't have a white gel pen, unfortunately. I think I should get one. But honestly, I really like this because like the line thickness is so right. I feel like this is the best line thickness for this painting. Just the way it looks so nice, and I'm so happy with this result. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I really hope you liked this video. I really hope you found this video entertaining and helpful to your art journeys. And if you painted the Among Us character, let me know in the comments below. And you should definitely paint them. They're so much fun to paint, guys. You should definitely paint an Among Us character. You will love painting them. They're so easy and just so fun to draw. So don't forget to subscribe, because I make new videos every week on stationery, calligraphy, and art. And hit the bell so I get notified every time I make a video. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button so that this video can reach more people. And comment down below on your tips and tricks for watercoloring, if you like painting Among Us characters, and just your experience with the Marvy Uchida brush pens, or just watercolors in general. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to have a happy Monday. Bye bye!